The 2022 NASCAR season is set for many new things, especially the car. With the introduction of the next-gen race car, NASCAR's Top Series is set for a new generation in 2022. And we see a few new things coming to the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series schedule, which has been released today. The schedule was originally first released the day before we were expecting it, on September 14th as opposed to September 15th when we were expecting it to be out. That was leaked out by folks over at The Athletic. I say leaked, it just, they put it out there probably before NASCAR wanted them to, so they went ahead and they confirmed a few things that night on September 14th, including how the season starts off at not the Clash at Daytona anymore, but rather the Clash at the LA Coliseum. Football has played inside of a NASCAR stadium before, with Bristol Motor Speedway holding the Battle at Bristol back in 2016. Well, now NASCAR will be competing inside of a college football stadium. Now, many people are mad that they're not going to go to Bowman Gray Stadium, which is already a football stadium that has a racetrack in it. But here's the thing, guys. Bowman Gray is in the middle of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. NASCAR is already from North Carolina. People know about NASCAR out there in North Carolina. And they're going to be able to get a bigger crowd at the LA Coliseum for this, and it gives them a chance to further extend out into a larger market, which is the executives' goal over at NASCAR. I know it might not make the most sense to try to go for a market that they might not even be able to fully appeal to, but I think it's a risk that is worth trying out with a race that doesn't matter for points. Would I want to see this race be on the regular season schedule? No, I wouldn't. But am I fine with this being 2 weeks before the Daytona 500? Yes, I am. With that, before I start diving in too much, this is my video of what I love and what I hate of the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series schedule. Now, just to recap, here's what the schedule is going to look like. Start off at the Clash at the LA Coliseum. Then, the duels at Daytona International Speedway before the Daytona 500 on February 20th. Next, we go to Auto Club Speedway for one last time at the 2-mile version of Auto Club Speedway before that becomes a short track for next year. After that, the swing continues out west at Las Vegas Motor Speedway and Phoenix Raceway. After that, we see the newly redesigned Atlanta Motor Speedway with increased banking. Will this look like a mini version of Daytona, or will it be just a higher banked version of what we've seen in the past with a new, smoother racing surface? After Atlanta, they go to Texas for Circuit of the Americas for the second time in NASCAR's history going there. Now, will this be a better showing, not full of rain like it was in 2021? That's the question a lot of people are hoping for, hoping that moving it to March may be a less rainy season. After that, they go to Richmond Raceway for the first time of the year. Then they go to Martinsville, so they're going to stay in Virginia 2 weeks in a row. And after that, they'll be back down over in Tennessee for Bristol Motor Speedway's dirt race. This time, it's being held on Easter Sunday at night. This will be the first time that NASCAR has raced on Easter Sunday since 1989. Following Bristol, they go down to Talladega Superspeedway, then they head up to Dover International Speedway for their one race of the year. After Dover, they go to Darlington, then Kansas, and then we go back to Texas Motor Speedway as they get the All-Star race for the second year in a row. Hopefully we won't have Sammy Hagar confusing everyone before the race, but I would expect Kyle Larson to maybe still be strong in that one. After the All-Star race, we kind of play back into tradition a little bit as the Coke 600 is after the All-Star race once again this year. Then after the Coke 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway, they'll be going to Worldwide Technology Raceway, the Cup Series' first time at Gateway. This will be a great test for NASCAR to see how they appeal with the Top Series into the St. Louis market. St. Louis is a market that lost its top NFL team in recent years, so it'll be great to see how NASCAR can appeal to this audience. Then after Gateway, they go out to California to Sonoma Raceway for the road course out there, and then they'll take their one and only break for the 2022 NASCAR season. After that, they come out my way to Nashville Superspeedway for the Cup Series return visit for the second time here at Nashville Superspeedway. Then once again, the July 4th weekend will be celebrated up at Road America up in Wisconsin. I will be debating going to this one. I didn't get the chance to go this past year like I had hoped, but It'll be kind of hard to swing both Nashville and Road America being back-to-back weeks, but I'll see if I can make it happen. Then after Road America, they go back to Atlanta Motor Speedway as they get a second date. And again, what kind of racing will we be seeing? Well, I've already figured it out by the time we get to this race. After Atlanta Motor Speedway, they go up to New England for the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, then another stop in New England as they're in the Pocono Mountains at Pocono Raceway. After Pocono, they go to Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where we will once again see the Cup Series in action on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. After that, once again, a back-to-back between Indianapolis and Michigan International Speedway. This will be Michigan's only stop once again with NASCAR in town, but it should make for an exciting race weekend as always in Michigan. And now, out of the playoffs for the first time in a while, Richmond Raceway's second date is being held on August 14th, and after Richmond, they'll go up to Watkins Glen, and once again, the regular season will end at Daytona International Speedway for the Coke Zero Sugar 400. Now the NASCAR playoffs begin. The round of 16 will start off once again in Darlington. I think that's a great first stop for the playoffs. It's a great follow-up race from the exciting action in Daytona. And then now, taking Richmond's place is Kansas Speedway as the second race in the round of 16. And Bristol Motor Speedway is once again the cutoff race being held on September 17th. Then following Bristol Motor Speedway, the round of 12 begins at Texas Motor Speedway, followed up at Talladega Superspeedway, and then the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval will be held on October 9th. And now we've seen the change up here for the round of 8 as Las Vegas Motor Speedway opens it up, then followed by Homestead Miami Speedway and Martinsville Speedway as the last race before the championship race once again being held at Phoenix Raceway. Now, let's go into what I love and what I hate about the 2022 schedule. First of all, let's talk about things that I love. I'm really excited to see how this clash at the LA Coliseum turns out. I'm debating on going out to see this. I actually work full-time with a company based in California, and I have a lot of good coworkers and friends who live out in the LA area, and it would be good to see some of those people. So it'd be good to travel out, visit with them, as opposed to seeing them on a small Zoom screen for once. And also, it's just nice with NASCAR being away that my wife and I get a chance to travel across the U.S. So this would be a great opportunity to go out and see Los Angeles. I've never had a chance to go out that way. We've never been on the West Coast for a race. This would be a great chance to do that. And once again, I love that the West Coast swing is how it is. It's kind of unfortunate though that they got to go to Los Angeles and then Daytona and then back out again for a West Coast swing. But I always like how it goes. Auto Club California, Las Vegas, Nevada, and then Phoenix, Arizona. It's just a good chance to get 3 of those hard to reach tracks out of the way in the beginning of the season. And I always have loved the West Coast swing being in that kind of order like that. I like Circuit of the Americas being back on the schedule, and I like it being moved towards the earlier part of the year. I'm hopeful that this might make it better for rain. I don't know how Texas really is around March for rain. I know Tennessee is horrible for rain in March, so probably best to kind of avoid Tennessee in March, as I'm sure that they took into consideration for keeping it out of Bristol and Nashville at that point of the year. But that brings us in to something that I don't like, and it does relate to Bristol Motor Speedway's dirt race. I honestly can't say I'm a fan of having it on Easter. I know that's got to be hard for a lot of teams because Easter is always a holiday that people love to spend with their families. They love to obviously remember what the day means in the Christian holiday form of it, celebrating the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. So this is one of those moves that's kind of, it's hard to wrap your mind around the fact that they are going to race on Easter. But also, this isn't one of those holidays where people have the next Monday off either. So that makes it really confusing that they're going to hold it on a Sunday night and not a Saturday night, which I think rain might even make it that way in the first place. Rain was a huge issue this last time that they tried to do the Bristol dirt race. Putting the dirt down made it even harder to try to race at all if it rained. And I kind of see this being another issue here too. Personally, I think May is a better time period to try for the dirt race. I do like it being at night. I just don't know that I like it being back in April, and I don't know if I like it being on a Sunday night, because then I have to take a day off of work in order to travel back to go to this race. So yeah, that's something I don't like about the schedule. Another thing I don't like about the schedule, I don't think Texas Motor Speedway did it for me with the All-Star race, and I don't see why it has to be back at Texas Motor Speedway. I really don't know why they even had to move it from Charlotte to begin with. 2020 made sense. Things were different with COVID. They wanted a track where they could get fans at. Bristol made sense. Texas is far out, and the teams used to love having 2 weeks where they could stay in the Charlotte area and still race. And Texas Motor Speedway and Charlotte Motor Speedway are very, very, very similar tracks. Why'd you have to go all the way to Texas for this just to be back at Charlotte the next week? That's my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Things that I love to see, I love seeing Worldwide Technology Raceway on the Cup Series schedule. This is great to see Gateway getting a chance to shine and showcase NASCAR's Cup Series there on their track. I love seeing Nashville Super Speedway returning. I know that they are very excited. They've got at least a 4-year contract from this past season, so we're going to see them on the schedule for a while anyways. But kind of hoping that the racing's a little bit better with the next-gen car here. Gotta admit, love my friends over at Nashville Super Speedway, but the race was kinda meh, so we'll see. Pocono Raceway losing one of their races, I can't say that I mind this. I'm not really mad, I'm not really happy, but their races have kind of been declining over the last few years. I think it's part of the reason we saw Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which is the next week after Pocono. I think that's part of the reason why we saw Indianapolis get changed to the road course, because these flatter, long tracks like Pocono and Indianapolis, they just don't usually provide the greatest showing in the world for NASCAR. At least they didn't for the Gen 6 in my opinion. Next gen might be different, you never know. But Pocono, I think this is just the product of how the races have been. They went from, having 2 dates to just having 2 races back to back, and now just 1 race. I'd like to go to Pocono one day. Obviously, my favorite driver, Alex Bowman, won there this past year, but it was kind of a fluke victory with Larson blowing his tire anyway, so I don't know. Pocono, don't hate you having 1 race, but don't really, like it having 1 race. Don't really know how to feel about that one. Things that I love, I was skeptical about it at first, but I really do love Daytona being the last race of the regular season. It just makes that one so much more fun and interesting to watch. We brought in a group of like 4 of our best friends to our house for a big watching party of it. It was like the perfect combination for a racing version of a Super Bowl party to find out who gets in and who doesn't, and it just makes for a lot of interesting excitement before the playoffs begin. And honestly, as far as the playoffs go, I really like it how it's looking next year. I don't mind Richmond being out of the playoffs, because honestly, this past Richmond race was kind of a snoozer in my opinion. It wasn't really anything exciting. I can't really say Kansas is going to be any more exciting, but I think this plays into that first round being a little bit better, because it's not, 2 short tracks, and Darlington, it kind of races like a short track. And then of course Talladega being in there, the Roval, Homestead being back in the playoffs, Martinsville is always fun right before a championship. And then Phoenix, yes, we've only seen 1 championship race held there so far, but, kind of probably makes sense to put them into the championship race once again. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this 2022 schedule. There are some things I don't like, some things I wish were a little bit different, but I'm pretty happy overall. Let me know what you guys think down below if you are excited for the 2022 schedule. What are some things you like? What are some things you don't like? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, if you're new to my channel, please be sure to hit subscribe and click the like button. It really does help my channel out a lot. And we'll see you for the next video. Bye guys. Hey race fans, thanks for watching this video from DannyBTalks. If you're new to my channel, please be sure to hit subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss another video from my channel.